Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're looking at 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And we're coming to an end of another ending, I guess. There's like several endings to this game. And I think we're going to be... I don't know if this is going to be the true ending or not, but we're very close to another ending. We're in the library. We're going to look for a way to get out. We're looking for the Neptune key. And we're also looking for Alice as well, who's the girl that was frozen in ice that never melted. Okay, so we're going to have a look at these bookshelves. What's a picture book like that doing here? Looks like it's about Little League. It does seem a little weird that it's so different from the others, huh? Maybe you ought to take it with you. Oh, okay. There's a baseball on this one. Oh, there's a baseball on this one. Come on, Jumpy, let's see what's in it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably baseball stuff. Whoa! Pop-up book. Head. Okay. There aren't any other books that look suspicious. Oh look, Seven, here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. Human equilibrium theory. Human anatomy. Regeneration of internal organs. Ancient gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history. Dissection Atlas. Huh. This whole shelf is full of medical books. Principles of monkey behavior. Huh? I'd imagine that's a book describing praxeology studies on monkeys. Monkeys are very similar to humans, evolutionary speaking. So I imagine the research was fruitful. This book's called Correlation of Muscle, done that. This book's just called Dissection. From what I can tell, it sounds as though these books have been organised by genre. This library must be massive. I'm rather impressed by how well organised it is. Okay. Automated robot assembly line techniques, huh? What's that? Some sort of comic book? Geez, I guess boys really like that stuff, huh? No, you're thinking of a different sort of robot. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. This? An overview of photochemistry. I think whoever set this up wants us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it. Oh, okay, so anything that's got the cover facing. Looks like there's a whole lot of space between these books. Look, Junpei. I think there's something hidden behind the books. Powerful light bulb. Alright. What else we got? Nothing there. Well, there was a light bulb here. Isn't anything here? What's that one called? It says Foundations of DNA and Genetic Engineering. Communicating and Computer Science. That's a pretty generic title. To be honest, it's so vague I don't really know what it might be about. No. This book is called... Yeah, we did that. So we've done that half. Here. Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about? Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. It refers to having the ability to travel through time. Ooh. This one says the golden rabbit and the moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute. What's the moon stuff about? He's talking about the Judas tree that it's said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Katab al-Asiv. Man, they've got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy. It's not a person's name. It's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul Al-Hazred. Al-Hazred. Yeah? Al-Hazred? It's said to be one of the... it's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Oh. So these are all occult books and stuff. This book is called Mind Swap. You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much. But I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me.
What the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like...
Hey, well, you were just imagining it. You were.
Shut up!
Yeah, but it wasn't the only one. Okay. The book, yeah, did that one. Did that one. Did that one. What else we got here then?
Theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this one. This is that Darwin guy, right?
Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. Okay. Mother Nature.
Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks?
Probably not, except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection.
I was just trying to make a joke.
Dude, hippie chicks, really. Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking.
Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about?
Why are you asking me? I don't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe we should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly.
Huh, why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that?
Micrographia. Huh. Ah yes, Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew details of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Here? Introduction to Geology. Huh. Thinking about the Earth even when you're on the ocean, kind of romantic in a way, I guess. Okay. Theories of
Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off nearby? Called Cambria.
Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago. During what is known as the Cambrian period. Research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Oh, I see. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is most likely a collection of them. Okay. The shelf has a bunch of books about evolutionary theory. Creatures of the South Seas. Huh. I wonder if this one's got pictures of colourful fish and stuff.
This one says, transition of extinct species.
We need to hurry it up, or we're going to end up in the pages of a book like that. Okay. Have I gone through all of these and nothing to show for it? Okay. A bookshelf downstairs.
Don't shove. I'm not kidding, don't push me.
What the heck, man? I wasn't gonna, but now that you bring it up. Can I go down? A bookshelf downstairs. Stairs that go down to the bottom floor are on the other side of that junction. Man, this thing is narrow. I feel like I'm walking across a tightrope. Jeez, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of a 10-story building. Could you walk along that wall, Junpei? No way. Then what about a balance beam in the gymnasium? Oh well, that's easy. You don't find that strange? A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. So why is it that a balance beam poses no challenge to you, but the hypothetical 10-story wall does? The light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life of darkness can give you courage. What else we got? Okay, it's the same. That's the same. This way. Energy theory, development of nanotechnology, materials, interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else we got? Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache.
Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're going to put me to sleep.
Alright. Oh. Oh. What's the deal with these titles? What's the deal with these titles?
They're all just gibberish.
Hey, what if we, like, switch them around?
Switch them around.
Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Heck, it's worth a shot. Open here, find bulb. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order. Open this thing right up. Yeah, that was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spelled out, open here, find bulb. A powerful light bulb. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory. Ah, well, it's a theory that posits an invariation quantum field where conformal transformation can take place.
Knock it off with this science voodoo stuff. You trying to put me to sleep?
Oh my god. Supersymmetric string theory in 10-dimensional space-time. Huh. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality where, how to explain? It says that all elements of the universe are governed by the vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. I just want to find another picture book or something.
Our property value's going up out in space too these days. Man, guess times are tough for aliens too.
This one says cosmic inflation. Very funny. Quantum gravity. Seven, do you have any idea what this is?
How about you start by using real words? And maybe we'll get somewhere.
Theory of general relativity, huh? Oh, I know this one. That's Einstein's, right? Okay. I've got a feeling like there's only one thing in an area. Black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. Okay, this is different, right? Oh, there we go.
Hey, it's another one of those kids' picture books. It looks a lot like the other ones we found.
Cool. This one has some Native Americans on the cover.
Hey, Junpei, took a look at this one.
Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa! Kill head. Okay. Can you combine these? No. Oh. LRK.
Can't make any sense out of them though. Large, round, and kinky? Nah, probably not it.
Okay. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. Okay. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot. Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're going to find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome.
That's going to be serious inheritance tax.
Okay. Let's just skip a bunch of these. Bunch of books, yep. This bookshelf is a bunch of books. Did that one. I've done all of these, right? Yes. Yes. That one did. Yep. Okay. Okay, so... Pythagorean theorem. This is a famous one. Sounds like there were a number of maths books in this section. Bad kind? What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Owen. Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about some English revolutionary. Sheldrake. Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... Les Bernies? This book is in German. It looks like it's the complete work of something. I never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. Haha, that's funny. Why is that funny? Okay. It says Riemann hypothesis. What is there to hypothesize about the Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens no. There are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa! That one's Goldbach's conjecture.
Conjecture? What's it about, like magic or psychic stuff or something? I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it?
May have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory.
Oh, sorry, I said anything.
Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? Alright. What have we got here?
This bookshelf has some sort of glass inlay. Pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. Seems kind of weird.
Okay. Hey, looks like there's something on the bottom. Can't really see it though, the glass is all foggy. And then there's this, okay. Books here in all sorts of languages, but there's something suspicious about the shelf on the left. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. So many books here. I wonder what this one... Whoa, what's this? Warm. Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Hey, what's the deal with this sappy stuff?
Oh. Modern Japanese literature, huh? Oh, there we go, another picture book, thank God.
Hey, there's another one of those picture books here. Something about these things, feels kind of nice, you know? Brings back good memories.
I guess even people like Seven were kids once.
No shit, you little brat.
Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm going to take this picture book with me. Alright, let's have a look at this one. Got a magic wand on it. Okay. So, what's inside? And you're going to open it? Pretty sure it's just going to have pages inside. Smarter. Whoa! Okay. Alright. Okay. This iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. Okay. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look like music stands. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then... This is a little weird. Oh, we need to put the bulbs in. 3 lights in. They aren't very bright though.
Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulbs earlier? When you put in one of those lights?
Yeah. Well, it'll get a lot brighter, but... But if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. There won't be much point unless we can replace all 3 bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs. Yes, okay. So, 3 light bulbs. Okay. Let's have another look at this thing. Oh! Here? 632415. Middle of the glass door is a cylindrical lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you've got the right ones to open it. The hell is this? I thought they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well try and give it a shot. 6. 3, wasn't it? 3. Oops. 3, 2. 4, 1, 5. You did it, Junpei. Yay! Okay. I don't know why, but I don't feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? It's really easy. Oh, bulb. 3 now. Okay, cool. All 6 books seem to be pointing at the cylinder number lock. Seems to be pointing at it. Okay, whatever. So we can do this here. Alright, so there are 3 lights in here. I'm going to change these bulbs. Now they should... Yeah, I could see that before they even put it on. Shield, rake 5. Awesome! It worked! Way to go, Junpei.
Good job, buddy.
That's something projecting on the bottom.
These letters, they seem familiar.
Right, okay, that was a book that we saw over here, wasn't it? This one. It says Sheldrake on the spine of the book. It's got the volume number written on the lower part of the spine. I mean, I thought it said Sheldrake 5, no? Maybe I've got to actually go back to this then. Oh, yes I do. Sheldrake 5.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
I want this. Yeah, I think I saw it. It was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay. Seven and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind. Sheldrake. Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean. Junpei grinned. Yeah. Lotus told me about him. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Really? From Lotus, huh? Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff. She did? Yeah, what was it? The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. Huh. That girl, I told her not to tell anyone. You did? Why? Well, Junpei's eyes narrowed. Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay? Tell you what? Don't give me that. About the experiment. Snake's shoulders slumped and he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor. Junpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke. I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. That's a Braille card. It looks like the one that you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards? No, only one. Oh, what do you mean? I thought the card just had some rules for the nonary game on it. Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Or perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read. And that was... Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives. Oh. Well, Snake nodded. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from her, Zero too? I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth but not hers? Yeah. To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you, that girl. What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things that she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back. Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven, examining one of the bookshelves. That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us. Why? Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment, I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us. No matter what the situation was. Snake paused and cocked his head as though was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark as though something was weighing on him. Hey, Snake. Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him. Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment? Yeah. How much do you know? Clover told me about... I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiment had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. And the girl that died during the experiment. She told you all that, did she? Snake looked down, his face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. He made as if to brush something from his face and looked up at Junpei. At any rate, I know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine is who did this and why, right? Yes. Can you tell me what happened? Yes. Snake nodded slowly. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongoro, Nagase Nijisaki, Teraraki Kubota, and Kajiki Masashidio. Hongoro was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Oh, is this number 9? Is this Snake? Kubato led the company's research and development division. Musa Shido was the majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongoro designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kuboto developed the technology required, and Musa Shido provided the cash. So it's Hongoro, Nijisaki, Kubota, and Musa Shido. Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he had heard those 4 names somewhere before. Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organised a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer it correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields. But that's just a theory. Can't bring yourself to believe it? Yeah. Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists, whether or not he does is immaterial. So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field. That's right. Snake nodded. But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people. Right? That is what you were saying. Yes. So how were they going to do that with a morphogenetic field? I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far? Yeah. Now, if there's a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do? Come on, there's no way. I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. An ordinary person, let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these? Junpei thought about it for a moment. So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right? Yes, close enough at least. Come on, that's just crazy. Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least that's how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the nonary project began. Snake suddenly looked very serious. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment? Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm. Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms, then you show one picture and ask the other what they see. Interesting, I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct. So why'd you bring up the Gansfeld experiment? It was used to screen subjects for the nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them he found had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise, children that seemed though they might be able to access the field. Oh, as if they children that showed as if they could access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. His face barely moved as he spoke. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken for 18 children total. For reasons they were not fully understood at the time, each pair had one transmitter and one receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed in the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiment he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are two things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany, the other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and hard, until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained throughout the epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to the equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongoa came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated the bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life or death situation, Hongoa hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongoa explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answer, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they'll be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink and your brother and sister will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything, all of it identical. That's not true, is it? Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same thing with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found, and transmit what they learned to the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak.
Hey, Junpei Snake, how much longer are you going to be sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already.
Okay, interesting. Another insight into the experiment that happened 9 years ago. And I guess that's going to be another episode of a 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors is what it's called. Thank you so much for watching Borderline Games, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.